I was sort of a mistake.
Can you believe that this young man, J.R. Albino, believes he was a mistake? He's looking for his long-lost biological father. He contacted the Leah and Blair Slog as we're helping to reunite long-lost loved ones. JR's father came to the Philippines where he met his mum, and they kind of had me, he said. This is JR's story where we gave him an ancestry DNA kit. But sadly, JR's DNA results came back without a father match. Although there was a match, nobody saw coming. When the DNA results came back, my wife Leah May was trying to interpret them.
Oh, I don't understand this.
JR's DNA results were showing up an aunt that nobody knew of.
So I will forward this to Caleb straight away.
Some of our cases are pretty quick and easy, although some of them take hours upon hours of behind-the-scenes research, trying to find out who these people are and how we can connect the dots.
Caleb has a new message. Tara has responded. She says she was adopted as an infant and brought from Manila to America. She doesn't know anything about her biological family.
Huh?
She is very interested to meet some of them.
She was adopted.
That's what Caleb replied.
Myself and Leah May would just like to thank every one of you who has subscribed to the Leah and Blair Slog recently.
If anyone would like to reward us with a coffee, the details are in the description.
Thanks very much to our very special camera boy, Sam.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello there, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. I'm Blair.
My name is Leah.
Nice to meet you both.
Whereabouts are you?
So, Seattle, Washington.
People watch our videos, usually from America or Canada,
Mhm.
European countries, Britain, and they want to help, so they'll buy DNA kits and send them to us.
Mhm.
So right now we've got around 60 ancestry DNA kits that we need to distribute and send out all over the Philippines to people who have messaged us.
Wow.
And
cool
in your
that you guys
case,
do that. Yeah.
JR is one of.
and in your case, JR was one of those people who had
who reached out.
had watched our video and reached out to us going, I just wonder if I could find my biological father as well.
Cool.
And then his results came back and it was up to Caleb, the G-Man genealogist, to work his wonders and
Well, it
tell us
wasn't
what was what.
It wasn't that hard because it said half siblings. So sometimes
right.
you have like second cousins, and that's where I come into play. I track
Yeah.
down the cousins and things. But
Well,
when
I'm
you
glad
get
Caleb
Yeah.
reached out because, I mean, I took the test years ago, but I get messages that are, you have 1% DNA match, you could possibly be like third or fourth cousins, and so I just kind of started ignoring them.
How long ago?
Did I do my ancestry?
Yeah.
A few years ago. I don't know exactly when, but it's been a few years, I feel like.
Was that specifically to try and find your biological parents?
Yeah, I think it was kind of like I've always been curious, and I've told my husband, I really one day would like to try to connect with my biological family, and just kind of get my story of what happened. And yeah, I just said, hey, this ancestry thing's out. Maybe I'll just take it and put it out there and see if we get any matches, and hopefully that'll start leading me to one direction.
Right.
So I'm really surprised. And Caleb reached out, and then he mentioned you, Leah and Blair, and what you guys do, and I was really excited about it.
Just first of all, because we're documenting JR's story,
Mhm.
all of a sudden it's kind of right now it's gone from JR's story onto your story a little bit and then this sometimes is what happens through a lot of the stories we're setting off to help somebody, and then I don't know if you've watched any of our documentaries, but there was a boy, a young man called Albert,
Mhm.
and we gave him a test, and he was looking for his biological father, and we ended up finding 5 siblings
wow.
Most of them didn't know one another.
Yeah, I think I briefly saw a little bit of that.
And we ended up going to Thailand and finding his father, and he met his father after 24 years. He was 24 years old, and his siblings, and one of the siblings lives in America. She was brought to America when she was 11. Her name's Kinect, so she's been Americanized really, and she's coming in a couple of months she can speak Filipino, but she's coming back in a couple of months to visit Albert and to see him.
That's cool. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was telling my husband, I said I would love to travel to the Philippines. I've never actually been back.
Right.
I think I was adopted out when I was 1 year old, and I've never been back. So I would love to see the country and visit and do all the things there.
Cool.
But is it so my question is, you guys are probably really busy because you have so many people that are trying to get you connected, right? Or having you connect them with lost family members. So how does this work with you guys? Is there a fee that I pay you to do all this stuff, or is there a wait list? I don't know. How does that work for you guys?
Caleb, did you send the bill yet?
The bill? No, we're all volunteers.
Not at all.
So.
We're just joking.
Yeah.
No, zero.
Oh, wow.
It's something that the tests are donated to us, the Ancestry DNA test. Quite honestly, myself and Leah May, we started off just by meeting Mary Ann in the marketplace, the first lady who set us on this journey. And because so many messages came in, it was like, we can't say no. They're very emotional. When we speak to them, crying, they're desperate for finding out their true identity. And the more that we went on, the more we just got into it. We've won awards. Like last year, I won what's called a Pusong Pinoy, which is having the heart of a Filipino. It's a yearly award that they give to any foreigner who lives in the Philippines that helps Filipinos.
Right.
And I wasn't expecting that, and it's just happened. So we're already on this journey, and it's like, well, let's just keep going. We have so many cases.
Cool.
When I put up the documentary or vlogumentary up on YouTube, I'm very careful to hide anything that people don't want to see, like their last name or address or anything like that. And of course, when people watch YouTube run ads through my documentary, and then YouTube pay us for placing that ad. So we will generate some revenue to help us to keep going. But there's never any fees or anything from people such as yourself. Caleb does everything pro bono and from the kindness of his heart. The people who watch the documentary, especially the Amerasians, get hope that there is a chance and there is a rainbow at the end. If they take this test, we may be able to help them and find a long lost relative. People watching will donate a kit. So it's kind of like a big circle of life, a circle of story that everyone kind of receives something back in return.
That's cool. Very admirable. So, congratulations on your reward or your award.
Thank you. So my question to you, can I call you Tara? Is that your name?
It's Tara.
Tara.
Yeah.
So I want to ask your permission if you're okay with telling a bit of your story, because I was just about to put out JR's first story, which is interviewing him and his character and who he is and what he's wanting to achieve and why he started this journey now at 24. And of course, now the story is stopped because now we found you, and you're hopefully going to be an integral part of this story, where we say to JR, you're not a half sister coming up on the the DNA results. It's an auntie. And so we've spoken to JR and asked him some questions about you, about what he knows. So it's kind of, your story is already in our story, but of course we have to ask your permission.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Would it be okay to tell your story, that you're somebody who was adopted and you took this test years ago, and now all of a sudden we were doing a story of somebody else, and now we've also found somebody who was looking for their biological parents that's related to JR. It's amazing.
It is, yeah, very, what a weird circle, but yeah, definitely have my permission to share.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, thank you for all of your time, actually, with your volunteer time. And, I know it's not easy, and I appreciate what you guys are all doing, Caleb.
Yeah, it's exciting. It feels good. Mm-hmm. And when you realize that there's somebody else out there that was, doesn't know anything, and they're looking for the people that we know about, your hairs stand up on your on your arm, and it's like that tingly feeling of oh my god, this is wild, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what we were saying to JR on a video call. He was in a taxi, he was going to work, and he's like, my hair's not done. This is like, and JR, like, this is.
So he's like, oh, this is so excited. I didn't expect this. Like, there's a twist. I'm looking for a father. Now I found my aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, I don't know how much you want me to say, Caleb, but JR said, oh, well, I have an aunt. And then all of a sudden he remembered something. But I don't know if, Caleb, you want to do a presentation, or I tell Tara what I know of what JR.
I think it would be better if you told. The only thing I was going to go over was just kind of how I arrived at the conclusion that she's an aunt. So kind of the process of elimination and the DNA side of things, just so that we have a level of comfort. But I think we've sort of got the backstory as well that matches up with that, which I think would be better if you shared that side of things.
Sure. Okay. Well, when we were talking to JR about, do you know this person? Obviously you. He's like, no. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
My grandfather, they say lolo, which is the Filipino word for grandfather. He said,
Because JR kind of spent more time with the lolo as well.
Okay.
So when he was a baby, when he grew
maybe
up,
just brief Tara about JR's upbringing very quickly.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
sorry, I just want to interrupt really quickly, if you don't mind. Does he go by JR, or is his name J and then last name R?
I don't know. I think he does it. I think he does it
on my
like different
paperwork.
ways.
It's Jay, and then
Okay.
I think R is actually a middle initial.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but I don't know if he goes by JR like Junior or.
It's a very,
Yeah, like-
it's a very weird. It's a very weird thing because my adoptive parents, actually, I grew up with 3 older brothers. They had 3 boys before they adopted me, and their youngest one, who I was closest with, his name was JR.
Oh, wow.
For Jeremy Ryan, and he passed away when he was 17. So it was just very like,
Wow.
I saw the thing, and I was like, JR, and you keep calling him JR. I was like, hey, this is like my brother, like connecting the dots for me, or so.
Okay. Such a coincidence.
I know.
When I said to him as he was traveling to work, he said, oh, wait a minute. I do remember something. When I was about 7 or 8, I remember my Lolo mentioning that they had a child that they had given for adoption. And that's all I know, because I was 7 and, didn't really understand at that time. I'll get back to you and find out information. And this was a couple of days ago. And during that time, we've had a really heavy storm here. A lot of the communications have been cut. He hasn't been able to reach his grandfather, who lives out of Manila.
Okay.
What we know of so far, and I'm sorry to tell you that your biological mother has passed away.
Okay.
And your father is still alive, and he's 83. 83. JR just told us last night he can't see anymore, and his hearing's going. So when you talk to him, we have to be loud.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still fit enough that JR says he travels from like one town to another, which is an hour or 2 journey. So your father is still alive.
I think it's correct, though, that you're not from a Smith family, right? You're from like a Suarez or something. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my parents who adopted me, they're actually first generational Filipinos. They both grew up in the Philippines, in Manila. And so my maiden name is Suarez for my dad's side of the family. So they're, they spoke Tagalog in the house growing up, but they didn't teach us. So I
right.
on. But, they had 3 boys, and they really wanted a girl.
Right.
So my dad flew down. I don't know how my dad told my adoptive dad said, we had 3 boys, we wanted a girl. Friends of a friend knew your mom and their situation, and somehow connected the dots that it was a private adoption.
I'm gonna just kind of get my slideshow queued up here just so we can go over that. I always have to like rearrange 20 windows here to make everything work.
So,
All right.
Leah and Blair, can I ask you a question? Was JR, he was able to connect with his biological mom, or was he able to do that through ancestry or something else?
Okay. So what happened was JR was fostered. He knows his bio mum.
Okay.
His bio mum, which would be
Mhm.
your sister,
Mhm.
she has had a very hard life, and they were on the streets.
Okay.
And it's quiet. It's going to be a quiet and emotional roller coaster, and it's quite a sad story. They were on the streets, homeless. She had JR, and they were begging in Manila when JR was 7 years old. It was raining. A lady walked past one day and offered them some help. She runs some shelters in Manila. And cut a long story short, she fostered JR, this lady,
Mhm.
who we haven't met yet, but she basically raised JR from the age of 7.
Mhm.
JR kind of distanced himself from his bio mother, and he's gone from begging in Manila to really, really a fine young, well-educated, well-spoken young man at 21. He's an actor, a model. What else? He can sing, he can dance, he can play the guitar, he can play the piano. He's rags to riches type story where this young street kid has gone from begging in the rain to, he told us that he wants to be a politician and run for mayor and right to the top maybe one day.
He's in the advertisement of McDonald's.
He does.
Burger King.
He does adverts for Jollibee,
Yeah.
Burger King. So at 21, he's really confident. He's a great guy, really funny. And he reconnected with his bio mum a few years ago. That's how he can like find out this information. And then, as Leah said, it was more closer to your father than to his mum.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's Jay. I don't think I've actually sent you a picture of him either, so that might be your first view of him.
Yes, it is my first view of him.
So that's
Cool.
your nephew. So what I was just going to kind of do is just go over a little bit of the DNA side of things. So when he took his test on his list of maternal relatives, this was his match. Obviously, you've kind of seen your side of this. So Ancestry, just by default, tries to place the centimorgans, which is in this case 1761, into one of the categories that would be the most likely. So it puts on the screen aunt and half sister. We can look at the kind of the details. So at 1761 centimorgans, there's really only 5 relationship options that are possible at that high of a level. So they're a full aunt, a half sister, a grandmother, a niece, and a granddaughter. Those are the only things that could ever come anywhere close to 1761 centimorgans. So from that, we can eliminate grandmother, granddaughter. You obviously, you're not his grandma. You're not his granddaughter. So that just left us with aunt, half sister, and niece. The reason we can eliminate niece, so I just kind of wanted to go through each one of these. The niece we can eliminate because in order to be a niece, he would have to have a full-blooded sibling, and since Jay is half European, you wouldn't be able to kind of fit into that mold. You don't have that same half. You'd be 25% European if you were a niece or that scenario. So we eliminate niece as well. So then we really have half sister and aunt. And so between half sister and aunt, his mother was born in 1979, so could not biologically be your mother. So you can't be half siblings. So that's how we've arrived at aunt. Aunt/nephew as the relationship. So from a DNA standpoint, at least, I'm very confident in saying that you're an aunt and a nephew. However, as you kind of know, the names aren't perfectly matching up. So we need to figure out how the people kind of make that relationship work, because DNA is telling us you're definitely aunt and nephew. So the question is, who are the people that are actually made that possible? We do know that the father's name, so your father and his grandfather, basically matched your paperwork, Tobias Albino. The first name seemed slightly different on your paperwork. I don't consider that significant in this case. So I think that that's probably a very, very good sign that we've found the right. Otherwise, Tobias Albino is not a name you would accidentally stumble across. So to me, that's beyond coincidence. However, we still have to figure out why the mother's names are so drastically different. So I think the name we had was Christina Imbit or something like that, and the name you had was Virginia something. So that's, I guess, Blair, when you're talking to them, you might see if those names ring any bells. Maybe that's another girlfriend that he had, or a former wife, or a nickname, or a common alias she used, or what the background story might be there.
So
that's
most
kind of
likely Hermina and I would have the same biological mother and father.
Yeah, but you should be
Same.
full siblings, according to this. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's kind of the puzzle, because you aren't a half aunt. You're a full aunt, based off of the centimorgans. If you were a half aunt, you would be about 800 centimorgans, not 1700. So there's a definite distinction between the two from a DNA standpoint.
Okay.
So somehow you're full siblings, and that'll be kind of an interesting puzzle to figure out.
Yeah.
Caleb, we asked this question to you before, that if there was another, if the Tara's father, there was another woman involved, Tara wouldn't be coming up as that much of a match to JR. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Tara and Hermina have to be full siblings in order for this to work. So they have to have the same mother. So if there's another woman out there, that's the same woman for both of them. So that's the one thing we have to kind of puzzle out.
Interesting.
That will be one of our first things that we'll get going tomorrow, is doing a DNA test, probably with Lolo first,
Right.
because that's who we're going to see. And JR is not close to his biological mother. Sometimes he doesn't even know where she's living. So that's going to be a little bit difficult.
Does JR have other aunts? Does Hermina have sisters?
Okay. So there's two other ladies. One lives close by to Lolo, and the other one is living in Europe somewhere. We haven't spoken to anyone else. We haven't spoken to JR's biological mother or the two aunts. So we haven't got their side of the story yet. But one of them is living, JR told us one of them is living in Belgium or Luxembourg, one of these countries, Holland, around that area.
And do you get the impression that they're also from the same parents, or are they half siblings of each other?
It seems that they're all from the same parents. Yeah.
And do you know do you have like their time frame? I was trying to think in my mind where Tara would fit in the chronology. Was she the first or the last, or
what was the date of?
Definitely younger than JR's mother.
JR's mother was born in 1979.
I think.
Okay.
You were born in 83, Tara.
83.
83, yes.
Yeah. So this may be a case where the family gets impoverished and then can't afford their last child. That would be the typical maybe scenario that we would be dealing with here.
Okay. Interesting.
But very possibly. I kind of feel bad, Tara, that we can't give you all of the answers that you're wanting to know today.
Okay,
but this story has kind of evolved very quickly in the past 3 or 4 days, and because of the typhoon and the distance with JR and JR being fostered, it's fragmented.
That's okay. I wasn't expecting all the answers today, so there's a lot of information.
We're gonna get them.
Yeah.
Okay, really interesting. Yeah, I was surprised when you guys were saying sisters, because I thought my adoptive father has always said, I thought that I had brothers.
Blair, do you know if there's any brothers too, or have you not asked that question?
I read our conversation. GR said, my mom has two sisters. She is the youngest of the three of them, I believe.
My biological parents changed my name when I got adopted out, so I have a
Right.
different name on all the paperwork that I have.
Right.
You don't happen to know what your original name was?
I
Or
do. It says Jennifer Helena Aquino.
That might be something to keep to yourself, Blair, and see if he knows the answer to that would be a good checkpoint, maybe.
Right.
Maybe the aunt, of course, they are older. Maybe
So-
they can give us more information.
If we
speak to
can
them.
see the other aunt that's living close by to Lolo, and she's older, then she would have known about you, Tara, probably, if she's 7 or 8 or 9 years old. The sisters might know about the adoption paperwork and might know why the mother said that name, or this name means this. This was her alias, who knows? A lot of Filipinos have alias names here as well. They don't go by their real names.
There's a lot of adoption happening before that they don't even have adoption paper.
There was no rules back then.
Okay.
It was just handing over babies without any proper documentation, or if they wanted to not have documentation, it was very easy just to pass $20 under the table and the officials would look the other way.
Yeah,
So-
what my biological father had told me, or my adoptive father told me, was that it was, a private adoption, but then, because he was living in Seattle with my brothers and my adoptive mom, but he said it took a little bit of time before all the paperwork could go through, I think, on the United States side of things. And so he actually, flew down to the Philippines, met me, flew back to Seattle, and then once all the paperwork had cleared, he came back down to pick me up. But maybe, maybe his memory was a little off too when he said I had brothers, or maybe I misheard that, and maybe they're sisters.
Yeah.
But, according to my paperwork, it says I was about a year old. when I was
1 year.
adopted.
Right.
Because my birthday is July 10, and then all the paperwork I have is dated for July 30th, 1984.
Your father flew from America to come to the Philippines to adopt,
Yes.
specifically.
Yeah, he said there was a friend of a family, friends. Somehow they were connected to my birth mom that knew her situation. And, I think our family friends were like, hey, we know a family lives in Seattle and would love to have a daughter. And so
Right.
my birth dad, adoptive dad,
Yeah.
flew down to the Philippines. So they said it was a private, and a few years ago, my dad just kind of handed me my adopted paperwork and was like, "Here you go."
This lady stays up all night, not sleeping, and doing detective work and finding old photos and digging around. And she's got a picture of maybe Lolo and Lola, your mother and father, with 2 small girls.
Okay.
But I'm double checking with Leah May
Yeah, we will double check this with JR and tomorrow.
because if we've got a picture of your mum that we can then give to you, that you can then show to your dad and say,
Yes, you remember this. It's a kind of old photo. It's black and white.
where are we heading now?
We're going to Cavite. We're going to the aunt of JR, the eldest of the sisters, and she believes that she has something to share about the adoption.
Lolo confirmed to us that there was 8 children in total.
Hi!
They only sent only one picture to my mother. There's a picture with her with Tara in the back side of the picture.
Oh, look, Bob. So that's at the back of the picture.
Her name is Tara, but her real name is Maria Helena Albino.
Turn on the notification bell, as this story will take another completely unexpected twist.